Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Gentlemen, happy Draft Day Eve. It is Draft Day Eve, right? It's like the day before the draft?
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you have the blood pumping through your veins right now like I do?
Who doesn't? Oh, just nothing.
We're gonna have
but
Surly
mocs.
pumping through our brain, through our veins
Well,
tomorrow.
our brains
night,
too.
right?
Don't worry about that.
Brains,
Our
livers,
veins.
bloodstream.
Be great. Yeah, in fact, so we're gonna get into write that down predictions here. We have a mock a day. Tomorrow, I would assume, will be the big boy Mel Kiper topic Shea mocks coming out, but we got a couple other ones to get to. But the show is presented by our friends at Surly Brewing Company, which we'll talk more about, and TCL, one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They have a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. We reject 500 football on this show. We have high standards. We want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. And the draft is a huge part of that. You got to get good players to win a Super Bowl. And so we'll see what they do tomorrow night. I'm sure we'll have some predictions every single Wednesday on the show. We put our reputations on the line by keeping track of our predictions. Let's hit the music, Dex.
Most make predictions and then never admit they're wrong. Yeah, that's not Mackie and Judd. This is the place where we just totally own our horrible predictions.
Write this down.
And eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Write that down.
It's Write That Down
Write it down. You like writing things down.
with Mackie and Judd.
When are you going to admit that you were wrong, Zolgad?
Actually, right now, and then again on another show that we're going to record today.
Crazy. Yep, because we're the only show in America that actually keeps track with statistics of our predictions on two different shows, mind you. Write that down and an accountability session every single Wednesday. Here's how it works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And listeners, if you want to participate, well, we might have 2 guests today. We're waiting on Nick, but Arsalan is for sure going to participate. You can send us a message through the Score North app. There's a quick message button at the bottom. You can hit us up, and that's where you can send in feedback for the comments shows throughout the week and Feedback Friday on Mackie and Judd. But let's get to it. The accountability session starts with Judd, and you had nothing come off the board. So congratulations.
I will not admit then today, at least on this show, that I was wrong. I won't admit I was wrong because, I mean, clearly nothing's wrong.
It's a stay of execution for Judd.
Thank you.
Now, I've had some trouble with NFL and Vikings predictions, so I figured let's venture into a different league. Let's try a USFL prediction. I told you that the Philadelphia Stars would beat the Pittsburgh Maulers in a USFL matchup, and they did. They won that game, I think 31-24 was the...
It was a classic. The Stars ran the ball.
I'm sure
well.
it was.
Yep.
The Stars ran the
pushed
ball.
the ball down the field.
Did you guys see the tweet that we got? I think it was last week after the round of USFL predictions, basically saying people are going to quit listening to the show if you guys.
What?
pick
No,
USFL.
people love you. What do you mean?
No,
Listen, we have surveyed
we got
our
a tweet
audience.
from a guy.
In fact, we're considering adding a twice weekly USFL breakdown show starting next week. Yeah.
I strictly said the best thing about the USFL is I can now make football related predictions and write that down. That is the number one reason I'm the most excited for USFL football.
And this guy threatened to boycott Mackie and Judd and Purple Daily for eternity.
Oh, boy.
Oh, come on.
boy.
Get over
All right.
Get over yourselves. How can you now? It's just football. Football's football. All right, listeners, you had nothing come off the board. Declan went to the USFL. Well, he said the Tampa Bay Bandits will beat the New Orleans Breakers in a USFL matchup. Did not happen.
Whoops.
In fact, isn't New Orleans the team that Sloter plays for?
Yes.
New Orleans.
I believe so,
2-0.
yes.
2-0?
Yeah, he's been great so far.
All he does is win football games in the preseason and in the USFL.
And the important thing is, remember, boys, it's called the Pro Football Hall of Fame, okay?
That's right.
It's not the National Football League Hall of Fame. So just to be very clear, Kyle Sloter right now tracking for Canton.
Okay, so how many non-NFL like are there Arena League players in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Are there USFL players from the mid 80s? Are there any
But
examples?
those guys actually made the transition to the National Football League eventually.
That's true.
You know, there might be, total guess, I think I've read this. There might be like CFL players who got in.
Okay.
Like
All right.
something like that. But anyway, I'm just
Sure,
saying Kyle
yeah.
Sloter
Okay. Yeah.
is tracking pretty well.
All right, so here's where
I'm
the
not.
statistics stand right now. Declan, you're at 34.5% completions, 3 touchdowns. Those both lead the league. I'm up to 25% now, climbing my way from the cellar. 1 touchdown. Listeners at 20% completions, 2 touchdowns. Judd at 18.4% completions and 2 touchdowns. So there you have it. That's the brief accountability session for now. Let's get our guy in here, Arsalan. Going to represent the listeners today. Been a Vikings fan for 18 years. What is going on, man?
Not much. Doing well. Excited for the draft. So.
What's your? Are you checking down today? Are you looking to raise the completion percentage? Are you throwing the ball down the field? What is your strategy?
I think right now, it would be staying ahead of Judd with the completions.
Just
goal.
so uncalled for, Arsalan.
Great
So
goal.
uncalled for. Right
Judd
there.
and Arsalan just throwing to the fullback, swing passes.
I'm going to try to. I'll ramp it up. I'll start play safe initially, kind of Kirk Cousins initially, and then we'll go with the
Go
bolder
from there.
picks. Yeah.
Like
Okay. So, all right, before we get started here, write that down. Predictions today are presented in part by our friends at Surly Brewing Company. And we would love to see as many of you guys as possible tomorrow night. 6 o'clock, we go live on YouTube, but we're going to be hanging out for a couple hours beforehand. Cheers and drinks. Judd, tell the audience where they should be tomorrow night.
They should be at Surly Brewing Hall because it will be the first ever, and hopefully the first of a lot, but the first foray into the Purple Daily Surly / Score North draft party. As Phil just said, doors open at 3. We'll probably be there more around 3. We'll start at 6, and we want to pack that place with passionate Vikings fans who can enjoy for one night only Before I Die ale, brewed especially for this event, because the goal of all Vikings fans, obviously, is to see their team hoist a Lombardi trophy someday. And because this show and because our friends at Surly are very much on point to getting that mission accomplished, they figured we will brew a beer. So we'll enjoy the beers, we'll cheers those. And Phil, I believe I've heard if you show up, that you could walk out with a TCL TV. Is that correct?
That is correct, Judd Zolgad. 65-inch 5 Series
Tell the people what they
TCL Google Smart TV. We're giving away a TV. We're also asking for canned food items to help the food group provide food for those that need it most across the state of Minnesota. So, yeah, we'd love to see you tomorrow night. Hit us up. Send us a tweet or something or an email through the Score North app if you plan on being there so we can make sure to cheers one for you. We also have a second guest listener predictor, Nick, is entering the chat. I think. Is he there?
Nick?
He's gone. There's 2 jerseys in the background. All right,
Nick? Hello, Nick. Are you okay?
Okay, let's put Nick back in the green room, so to speak, here, and we'll get to him
Do a
on the back
welfare
end.
check on Nick, shall we?
I hope he's okay.
There's just blood splattered across the wall.
Oh my God.
No one would have expected in this
Here he is.
sleepy.
Here he
All
is.
right.
Okay, he's getting a
All right,
beverage.
Nick, there we go. We got Nick. Nick, are you cracking a beer early in the morning here?
With water.
Okay.
Okay.
Nick's like, I start my draft 36
Yeah.
hours early, boys.
Best
I'm
part of
cracking
the
one.
week.
You drink
Waking up.
early.
So, all right, Nick, are you cool with the rules here? You're jumping in a little late. We already explained it, but you're going to make 3 predictions, Vikings or football related. You ready to rock?
Yes, I am.
All right. So we'll go in this order. We're going to Arsalan, over to Nick, over to Zolgad, back to Declan, over to Mackie. He scores! All right. Arsalan, you are under center or under shotgun or whatever it is. What's your first prediction?
So kind of played safe initially. It'll be draft related with the Vikings. So my first prediction will be regardless of the order, regardless of where we pick, if we trade up, down, the first 3 picks in this order will be cornerback, edge rusher, and center.
Okay, corner, edge, center, you said?
Yes.
Okay, and it's
Cool.
in any order. In any order.
Wherever they pick, but that's the first 3 that'll be in that order. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you're saying cornerback, but if a center is the first one, then this is wrong. Is that what you're saying? Or
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be cornerback first, edge rusher next, and then center.
That's for sure a home run if that happens, or a touchdown in this case. I write that down. I love it. Throwing the ball
Okay.
down the field.
Write this down.
All right, Nick.
All right. So I think on the last episode, I write that down. Judd touched on it a little bit, but I went a little different route. So Daniil Hunter will play 15 games or more and will record 10 sacks in those 15 games.
10 or more or 10 exactly?
10 or more.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. If Daniil Hunter plays 15 games and only gets 10 sacks, are you going to be a little disappointed? I'm putting high expectations on a future Hall of Famer here.
Disappointed? No, I think if you get to 10, you feel like it's not the greatest, but he's coming off back-to-back years in which one he didn't play. So I think disappointment is too high of a bar. I think I would be like, it would have been
15
nice
games is the. By the way, I almost feel like this feels like a touchdown prediction because he hasn't come anywhere near playing. He hasn't played 10 games. Like he's played 7 games in the last 2 years. So if this happens, it's probably a touchdown.
Also in 2022, I'm about the pressure rate, Phil. I'm not worried about the sack number.
That's
I'm
true.
looking at the pressure rate, So I'm cool with the pressure rates there.
The pressure rate is important. Throw the quarterback off his axis.
Write this down.
That's right. Throw the quarterback off his axis.
Man, we've
Right,
jumped
Judd.
the shark already. All right. In his post-draft press conference, which I'm assuming Kwesi will do at some point late on Thursday evening, he will use the term intentional 3 or more times. So in his
This is just after the first night, right? This is okay.
Yep. But in the first night, so they'll draft, let's say they draft 12th. At some point in time, he will come into the press conference room, saddle up to the podium, and be asked questions. And I am predicting he will use the word intentional 3 or more times.
He does love that word. He's very intentional about using the word intentional in press conferences.
Yes, exactly right.
He's got little Kwesi-isms, I think.
Write this down.
Okay.
All right. My first prediction. So the Vikings have 8 picks for this year's draft as of right now. As of this recording, there is 8 selections that they have in the 2022 draft. So write this down. The Vikings will draft 7 players or less in this year's draft.
The anti-Spielman. Spielman would be going from 8 to at least 10 picks.
Oh, easily with 5 of them in the back end of the 7th. But I will say, regardless of how this happens, so 7 picks or less. So if it's 8 picks or it's more, this doesn't happen. But I don't think they'll make 8 selections. I think it'll be 7 picks or less. Write that down.
So in theory, they would be consolidating picks, packaging to move up, and they would have pretty much the opposite approach to Spielman, who drafted between 2019 and 20, 13 players in the 6th and 7th rounds, including Oli Udo. He was one of them. So it depends on how you look at it. Oh, they found a starter in the 6th round.
Oh,
yeah, they found one of the worst starters in the NFL.
He might have been a good tackle. Poor guy.
Yeah, they moved him.
He got moved to guard like a week before. Hey, dude. Yeah, what's up? We're moving you to guard. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have trusted him fully at tackling.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down.
Yeah.
The Vikings will draft with their first pick Derek Stingley Jr., Trent McDuffie, or a wide receiver. So Derek Stingley Jr., Trent McDuffie, or a wide receiver with their first pick in the draft. Write it down. I wouldn't be shocked if they traded up for Stingley. I don't think they're going to try to move up to like the top 5, but if we get to the 8th or 9th and it just makes more sense where you can keep your 2nd round pick and move up and get Stingley, I would not be surprised if that.
Write this down.
All right, back to Arsalan.
All right, so I'm kind of with you guys most of the time with the Kirk Cousins. When he first came on, I was excited. Now I'm kind of over it, but I think Kevin O'Connell can do some work with him. So I know last year I think he had like 4,300 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. So I'm predicting he'll have at least 4,500 yards and a 5-to-1 interception to touchdown.
Ooh, okay. What was
touchdown
it? What was the ratio last year? It was 33 touchdowns and like 7 picks or something.
7 picks, yeah.
So it's kind of a 4.5 to 1, somewhere in there.
What was his ratio, Arsalan?
5-to-1.
5-to-1 touchdown. Okay.
Yeah.
Write this down.
All right, back to Nick. Your second prediction.
Well, a couple of mine just got kind of picked off, but I heard a bunch. So I I guess I will go with my next prediction. I believe that Kenny Nwanu, sorry if I butchered his name, will set the record for most kick returns or special teams touchdowns in 1 year. I was actually shocked by Cordero Patterson. I believe he will have 3 or more.
Love it.
It's a good one.
Love it. They should probably stop kicking to him at some point, right? Can't
Yeah,
these kickers just boom the ball through the end zone? You know?
Yeah,
They
he's special.
Yeah, and then it'll be interesting to see if they can find ways to scheme him the ball in the actual offense.
Write this down.
As well.
That's not allowed. Didn't you know that?
He must take a handoff and run between the guards. That is the only way that a running back can get the football.
Look to the A gap.
All right, Judd.
There will be 3 or more trades in the first round on Thursday. So there will be, as the draft is unfolding. So this obviously does not count trades that have been made to date, but as the draft is unfolding, there will be 3 or more trades in the first round.
Okay.
Didn't you make like a very prediction that was extremely confusing to me, like in this exact vein 2 or 3 weeks ago?
I think that was more confusing. I
want to check here.
I've got it. I got it right here, I think.
Okay, was it here it is. There will be no fewer than you said there will be no fewer than 3 trades made involving first-round picks during the week of the NFL draft.
So this, I'm now going back and saying, forget that. This will happen during the draft.
Okay, so before it could happen like today. If it happens today, then the other prediction stands. Okay,
correct.
You're playing the game.
I'm losing faith.
Playing the game.
Write this down.
Declan.
All right. My next prediction, another Vikings one. The Vikings will draft a center on day 3 of the NFL draft. I'm going very specific here. They will draft a center, but not until day 3 of the NFL draft. Write that down.
Okay. So I'm going to take Judd's prediction. I'm going to one-up it here.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
I'm going to be a one-upper, kind of. It's kind of a one-upper. I think there's going to be action in the first half of the first round. So I'm going to say that there's going to be at least 2 trades before we get to the 15th pick. So before we get, before the 15th pick comes off the board. So within the first 15 picks, there will be at least 2 trades in the first round of the NFL draft. I think there's going to be some jockeying for receivers. You know, if you think that the Alabama receiver can take the top off a defense, like I think teams are going to be active.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Tomorrow night. Okay, we're back to Arslan here for his third and final prediction.
This one's kind of a very bold one. I'm just gonna do a Hail Mary for my last one.
Yes, go for it.
I think the Vikings this year under Kevin O'Connell will have at least 11 wins.
At least 11 wins. Okay. We've seen it happen. Sean McVay took over a sort of an antiquated Jeff Fisher team when you can maybe draw some parallels, and they made a jump. Jim Harbaugh took over for a cesspool of, was it Mike Singletary and then an interim or something, and they made a jump. So a jump is possible if you got the right guy. Arslan, awesome predictions since you've got this platform here on Purple Daily, this peak moment in your life, I am sure. Is there anyone you'd like to thank that brought you to this moment?
No, I'd like to thank my family for going through the Vikings journey with me. When Sundays come around, I don't want to do anything but watch the Vikings. So, my wife, she's very patient with that, and my little brother, he's kind of got dragged into it with me. So we go through the pain together. So
awesome, man.
Well, thanks for you guys too.
Thanks for coming on. You did a great job, and good luck on your prediction, sir. We'll get you on again. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. That's Arslan. Yeah. All right, Nick, your final prediction here, sir.
Sorry, I had you guys on mute. So my final prediction for the season, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a Hail Mary, but until I looked up his stats. So Justin Jefferson will have 12 or more touchdowns this season. He's only had 12 in one season. I don't know how that's possible, but then again, our coach was Mike Zimmer, so we don't know how to throw the ball. But I think with Kevin O'Connell, I think Justin will at least get 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp is such a great example of what's possible. Like, Justin Jefferson was great last year, but Cooper Kupp was targeted almost 30 more times. So there's more to be had for sure with Justin Jefferson, as crazy as that sounds. So, Nick, all right, platform is yours, man. Who do you want to thank that brought you to this pinnacle life moment?
So unfortunately, I'm in Virginia, so I don't have any like Vikings fans I can come out here and thank. But I do want to thank you guys. Definitely. I love your podcast. I've been listening for probably about 3 years now. And then all the other Vikings podcasts out there that, fuel my anger for this team.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for the love, and good luck with your predictions, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, man. Awesome. I love our listeners. Got the best listeners, best viewers.
I love how Vikings fans are almost in like a support group. Like
It's true.
like
Well, it is. It's
like
true.
it's not
True,
like,
man.
but it's not like we get together and watch the games and celebrate. It's like my brother got roped in,
Yeah.
or my anger, or I listen to podcasts to fuel my rage.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Well, Arsalan told us before we jumped on, because he joined us just sort of behind the scenes before we started. And he said, yeah, when he was, I don't know, this was like 18 years ago, somebody got him a Dante Culpepper jersey. That guy's kind of got a funny name, Dante Culpepper. Imagine, someone could have given him a Tom Brady jersey,
yeah.
Right.
and he could have been a fan of the greatest dynasty in sports history, right? But
it wouldn't have been a funny name. And so he might have been like, well, this guy's name is Brady. That's not a weird name.
That's not
I don't
fun.
care about that team.
So awesome. Yeah, if you guys want to jump on and be future guest listener predictors, you can definitely hit us up through the Score North app, the quick message function. All right, Judd, your third and final.
All right, there's been a lot of speculation about what's going to happen to this guy. So I'm going to give you write that down, because I don't think there's going to be a trade tomorrow, and I don't think there's going to be a trade before training camp starts. Deebo Samuel will be with the 49ers when training camp opens.
Okay.
So he's demanded a
stealing my
trade, but he's
prediction.
not really saying why. And San Fran has come out and said, we're not trading him, which, by the way, in this case, I tend to believe.
Yeah.
So Deebo Samuel, when training camp opens, will be a San Francisco 49er.
But what do you mean? He deleted all the Niner stuff from his Instagram. He can't go back now. He deleted everything. Isn't that
that's
weird?
true.
How does that even? Does someone have to go? Do you pay someone to just go through one by one and delete everything out? It's just such a weird thing.
Deleting Instagram, like, they have to figure out a better model for this. Like, I have photos on my Instagram from like 7-8 years ago. I would love to go back and just like do a mass delete. You have to do like 4 buttons to delete one photo on Instagram. It's a lot of work.
So you really have to hate the team that
So
you
what's
play
worth
for.
it? So like what makes it, Declan, worth it to say this photo has to go?
Well, like, I don't want a embarrassing Declan photo from 2014. And as I say this, I know our Purple Daily audience is going to go comb through my Instagram. Phil's doing it right now.
I'm going through right now.
I'm going to the
Yeah.
gram.
So like it's just I would love to just be able to do a mass delete. Like, I have like 400 Instagram photos. I care
I just want
about
to say
like,
that
the last 50.
I stand by every one of my Instagram photos. Okay.
Okay.
So there's nothing haunting or embarrassing. I'm going through years right now. I mean, there's just a ton of absolutely clownish photos here. I don't know what's happening on
exactly.
your Instagram
See,
page.
I don't need to I don't need to show those.
Oh, look at you. There's a pair of shoes here in a video. It's great.
Yep. See,
Okay,
I don't need to do that. I don't need
So
to do
you'd
that.
like to so my advice is, next time, think before you gram.
Sure.
Yeah. You want that stuff to, if you want to have to go through 4
Evergreen
buttons to delete
Instagrams.
something,
Right.
is it worth it? Is it worth it? All right,
No, that's a
Declan,
good
your
point.
third and final prediction here.
Write
All right,
this
my
down.
third and final one, NFL draft, but not Vikings related. Write this down. No matter the order, Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, and Sauce Gardner will be the first 3 picks of the NFL draft.
Okay.
So no matter the order, no matter who goes 1, 2, or 3, Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, Sauce Gardner are the first 3 players selected and off the board in the NFL draft.
All
Write
right.
that down.
Okay.
Write this down.
All right, write this down. Malik Willis will be the first quarterback off the board. There's been a little Kenny Pickett steam here and there, and I've seen Malik Willis falling even into the 20s on a couple credible mock drafts. His talent is way too tantalizing for teams to pass up. Someone is either going to trade up, that's off the record, but Malik Willis will be the first quarterback off the board night 1 of the NFL draft.
Okay.
So
Write this down.
there you have it. I can tell you the first golf shop off the board would probably be Golf USA if there was a golf shop draft, Declan.
Yeah, Golf USA in Eden Prairie is celebrating their 20th anniversary, a huge store-wide sale now through Saturday, 50% off grip installation, a huge selection of clothing and shoes with some of the best savings you will see all year. If they're selling golf carts, need a new cart? Need to scoot across to Surly Brewing? Well, drive responsibly, but you can get a new golf cart if you want it from Golf USA. They're locally owned and managed. Stop in today between now and Saturday. They're on the corner of Prairie Center and Flying Cloud Drive, Golf USA in Eden Prairie.
Awesome. Also, listen, it's sometimes you like to indulge a little bit over draft weekend. Judd's here to tell you that you don't have to just eat kale like Tom Brady and avocado to lose weight. You can still enjoy your life and lose a bunch of weight, keep it off. It's great.
And that, of course, is thanks to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, where they have helped me since September lose 40 pounds. And the best part now is they help me lose the weight, but of course the key thing is to then continue and maintain that, and that's exactly what they are doing. So it's a 2-step program, as simple as can be. Drop the weight, and then the dietitians, and I call them coaches, they will help you keep that weight off. The new Simple Start plan for only $59 available now. Receive one-on-one personalized and guided support online or in person from the Livia team of experts. Livia.com, 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia, LIVEA.com. It is the first step towards getting all of those clothes to fit, towards feeling good, and towards being healthy.
I want a mock.
All right, boys. It's a mock-a-day here on Purple Daily, and we're still waiting for Godfather and Toddfather to put out their final iteration. I think it's like a 5.0 or something. But we do have on NFL.com today a Charles Davis final mock draft, a 3.0 from Charles Davis.
Okay.
Very
All right.
plugged in, former player. And we're going to go through this in a second, but so far on mock-a-day, since we started doing this, I don't know, toward the beginning of April, Derek Stingley Jr. has gone 10 times to the Vikings, Trent McDuffie 5 times, Jermaine Johnson 3 times, Jordan Davis once, Kayvon Thibodeau once, Chris Olave once, and then Jamison Williams twice, but that was us selecting him in a simulation, and then Randy in Cottage Grove also selected him in his own mock. So he's been selected twice. Let's see what Charles Davis has to say. With the number 1 pick, he's got Trayvon Walker going to the Jaguars. Now, there's conflicting reports that Trent Baalke wants Trayvon Walker and Jaguars ownership wants Aiden Hutchinson. So I don't know how you...
I can fix that.
How do you deal with that? And
That's
if
simple.
you're the owners, sorry, owners, who cares
You know what?
you
Actually,
think?
no. I fire Trent Baalke. He's an idiot.
Well, there's that too.
He's
Why is he
terrible.
running the Jaguars to begin with?
Because they're the Jaguars. But anyway, it's time for a change there.
Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 to the Lions. Ike Ekwonu to the Texans. Sauce Gardner to the Jets. Charles Cross to the Giants. Evan Neal to the Panthers. So a lot of meat and potatoes here and a cornerback. Kayvon Thibodeau to the Giants. Jermaine Johnson to the Falcons. So exclusively meat and potatoes so far. And a cornerback. Derek Stingley to the Seahawks at 9. So that might be it. This seems like a pretty realistic scenario where if he's still sitting there at 9, we can pull up our draft value chart. But I don't think the Vikings are going to give up their second-round pick to move up. But if they could give up something later than their second-round pick, if they love a guy like a Stingley Jr., but he's gone. Drake London, first receiver off the board, 10 to the Jets. Garrett Wilson, little wide receiver run here to the Commanders at 11. And that leaves the Vikings with the 12th pick. What do you think? What would you do here? So Stingley's off the board. Drake London, Garrett Wilson are off the board. So you got Kyle Hamilton. You got Trent McDuffie. You got Jamison Williams, the Bama receiver. Any number of other players. What would you do here?
Well, I'd be very tempted to take the receiver. I'd be very tempted.
Me too. I love Jamison Williams.
I guess my question that we don't know the answer to yet is, how much would they value a safety there? Because the kid's really good. He can really play. But again, I just come back to, I think that how they actually determine positional value is going to be important in this conversation.
Yep. So what they actually do here, according to Charles Davis, is select cornerback Trent McDuffie from Washington.
I want a mock.
The Vikings could use help on the back end as they continue to seek ways to slow down Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the NFC North. And here they get it with this smooth, tough cornerback who will accept all challenges that come his way. Having veteran star Patrick Peterson back in the fold to show McDuffie the ropes will certainly help as well. So I think, Trent McDuffie or Kyle Hamilton, maybe Hamilton's the better player, but McDuffie fills a more prominent position.
Right.
Cam Bynum might be in the mix to start at safety too. So there you have it. That's the Charles Davis 3.0 here, boys. So McDuffie has now gone 6 times to the Minnesota Vikings.
One more day, and the mockery will turn the calendar to 2023, and we will know who is going to fill that need.
Yep. So there you have it. All right, that's Purple Daily today. Daily Vikings entertainment. We're gearing up for a super fun night tomorrow night. The weather looks a little questionable, but that's okay. We're Minnesotans. We can handle it.
We're okay.
Bundle up a little bit. Put on some chill boys, a little long underwear, and make it happen.
If it rains, I also believe that there are contingency plans.
Yeah, we'll go
inside. So like rain, shine, we don't care. Like, we're tough.
Yeah, and like there's a whole indoor area. Like, we're going to be outside. Yeah. There's going to be a big screen outside amphitheater. Right. You can still kind of bounce back and forth, but yeah, we're gonna tough it out. All right, it's like playing at Lambeau for a few hours.
Exactly right.
I can make it to the Winter Classic. We can do the draft. We'll be okay.
Yeah,
we'll be all right here. Okay.
All right, that's a wrap. Purple Daily. See you guys tomorrow.